Tony, I know what you are. You're impossibly fast and strong. Your skin has a terrible farmer's tan. Your eyes are half lidded, and sometimes you speak like you're from a different time. You never eat or drink anything that's not water or pub subs, and you don't go out unless you. I know what you are.
Roasting me is your idea for the intro?
You were supposed to say it.
Say
it. A Floridian.
This is episode 62 of the Elbow Edge podcast.
And episode 2 of our Seasons of Love kind of.
Yeah, so this episode is dedicated to the fellas and the bellas.
Oh!
Right?
I like that. I like that a lot.
I need to bring up my own mood because, wow, you just knocked me out with that.
Oh, what?
Oh, farmer's tan? Come on. It's true, but come on. Don't call it out.
I'm out of line, but I'm right.
Yeah. I feel like off balance here. Everything I was going to plan to say is not in my mind anymore.
Aww. I was going to quote it directly from the movie, but then I thought, no, that's not going to make sense.
Mine was going to be a lot more easier. Mine was going to be, you know what we're going to talk about. Say it. And all you have to do is say Twilight, because we're talking about Twilight today. We didn't even say Twilight. We're talking Twilight today.
No, we did. Yeah, I'm Carolyn. This is Tony. We're talking Twilight.
Yeah. This is a big movie, apparently.
Oh, I think that's a little bit of an understatement, but you're right. It is a big movie.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was 2 hours. I thought when you texted me this morning and you were like, oh, I'll be on in an hour and a half, and I hadn't seen the movie yet, I was like, all right, I got an hour and a half to watch this flick. Brewed my coffee.
You were really putting off your homework till last minute.
Yeah, I really was,
And I'm waiting. I'm like, it's been 2 hours.
Hey, you texted me. I was waiting on you.
No, I was on Discord already, and I saw you online. I'm like, all right, she's probably getting ready. I was in the channel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
For like 30 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, now I gotta like give you detention or say like what happened, is something wrong at home? And then you're like, oh, I'm watching the movie. Okay.
My bad, dude. I didn't even notice you were online.
It was past 2 hours already.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I was already at I was 20 minutes till the end. And I was like, oh, you know what? It's been a while. Tony hasn't even texted me that he's on. Okay, I guess I have more time to finish the film.
I'm like, man, she's been on for a while.
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always on. I'm always on Discord.
Are you really?
Yeah, well, when I turn on my computer, I start up Discord.
And you see, I try to always keep nothing start up at the beginning.
I started up because, I have friends on Discord and I chat with them.
You're still trying to roast me?
No, not intentionally. If you took that as a roast,
I have friends.
That's a you thing.
Who check in on me.
I have friends who message me in the morning and look forward to talking to me. And
all right, all things I'm not familiar with. I get it.
That's not true. I was looking forward to talking to you when you texted me this morning. There, does that help you feel better?
Sure.
Let's talk about Twilight, because this movie is so good. In the best way. It's just.
Do you like Twilight?
It's so funny. It's so bad it's good. I gotta just put that out there. This movie is so bad it's good for me. I love that my friends love this movie. It makes me laugh thinking.
Like genuinely?
Yeah, they genuinely love this movie. I have 2 friends that.
They think it's a good movie.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think almost every girl I know likes this movie. But I have 2 close friends that really like this movie. And I love that they love it, but it makes me laugh when I see a lot of these scenes and know that they're probably swooning while I'm like, I think.
So you think, okay, so you're just not on board.
I don't want to say that, but yeah. Yeah, I gotta say it. Say it.
I want to remind you of what I told you when I saw this movie for the first time. I don't know if you remember.
No, I don't.
Because I did not see this when it came out in 2008. I saw this much later, and I saw it with a commentary track, like a funny commentary track from
Oh,
a YouTuber.
okay.
You remember
Yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I saw it, I actually thought it was pretty good, and I had a good time. And then I told you something along the lines of, you know that meme that people say still a better love story than Twilight?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get that because I
Yeah,
thought it was pretty good.
you're running, yep, you're running my memory back. I remember that.
I thought the idea of this love story was very good. We'll get into that. But now, after this most recent rewatch by myself,
No commentary track.
yeah, no distractions, no jokes, just me watching the movie. This movie is not that good.
Now, do you think that's the byproduct of no commentary track, or that's the byproduct of your current view on romance movies?
No, no commentary track. I think
Okay.
I was ready to accept it for what it was.
All
All these
right.
movies, I'm ready to accept for what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of scenes feel like a parody of how it's filmed.
Yes,
The
it does.
music, the
It
shots,
does.
the close-ups,
I
the
feel like
acting.
I've seen so many people make fun of Twilight, and then watching this felt like a. It does feel like a parody of itself. Like I didn't realize how I don't want to. I don't know what the word is. Campy or
I think you could say that, a
cheesy.
little bit of cheese, a little bit of camp.
I didn't realize how much it was, and then taking itself seriously. I feel like every parody or joke I've seen of Twilight is just them doing these scenes, but they're doing it ironically. So when you see the movie doing it unironically, I don't know, it made it so funny to me. Like for me, one of the funniest things is when she walks into biology class and the fan's hitting her and Edward is like covering his face and
Oh
I'm thinking,
yeah,
oh, she stinks. She's stenchy.
I call it the repulsed at first sight
Yeah.
scene. He's
Yes.
literally gagging and like
Yeah.
throwing up in his mouth.
And he runs out. He's like, I can't be here. And then I'm so like I have to use my fan fiction brain for this. Also, I need to add, this is just going to be all over the place. The writing is peak fan fiction. Every fanfic I've ever read has dialogue exactly like this.
Isn't the story of Twilight about like, didn't it stem from a fan fiction
No,
or a fan fiction writer or something?
I don't think. You know what? I'm gonna look it up, but I know 50 Shades of Grey is
Yeah,
a
fan fiction of
Twilight
this.
is a Twilight fanfic. But is Twilight based on a
By the way, yeah, as you can already tell, we did not read the book. We're coming in just from the movie perspective.
I am not a book reader. Yeah, well, for
But you
of
know,
Twilight.
I was about to read this book before this episode.
No
I
way.
looked, yeah, I looked if it was
No
available on
way.
Libby. I was trying to see if I could get on Hoopla or something. There
Hoopla.
was a waiting list. So I'm like, dang it, should I buy it? But I didn't want to spend $10.
I wouldn't spend $10 on Twilight.
I would
Sorry,
have done it
Twilight.
just for, the educational purposes, but
Educational purposes.
after watching the movie, I'm glad I didn't.
I remember I was at a family function and it was like an extended family because I have a large family on both sides, but on my mom's side, this was this specific one case. And we were at this restaurant, huge restaurant. It was like a Mexican one with like a party room. And I ran into my I don't know what the term is, second or third cousin, my mom's cousin's kid. So uh we're the same age, and he was reading Twilight. He was reading the first book of Twilight. Just
Like
everybody
openly, he didn't have a book cover.
openly, yeah. And
Okay.
the whole family is there. I have it's so extended that like fifth cousins are there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know these people, but we're related. And it's this huge room, and I'm like, I don't want to sit. My mom is having fun with like her cousins and her sisters and stuff, and my dad's talking to like the others, and so I'm like trying to find, and my cousin and I, or my second cousin, we got along pretty well. So I go and I sit next to him, but he's not in a very talkative mood. He's reading Twilight. So I sit next to him and I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, you want to read with me? And I was like, sure, why not? And so I remember reading the middle of Twilight. That's the only part
Wait,
of the
how did
book
you
I've read.
read with him?
He would keep the book open faced, and then we would be reading it, and then he would hold the corner of the page and he would say, "Let me know when you're done."
Oh,
Yeah,
all right. I mean, how was that?
it was okay. It's nice that he did that. It's that way, he wanted to still read his book, but didn't want to completely ignore me.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to you, so
He
he
didn't want
just
to
said,
talk to
"Stay
me.
quiet, read, and let me know when
He
you're
was like,
ready
"You
for the
want to
next
read?
page."
You want to just read this with me?" I was like, "Why not?" It was better than just being bored.
That would make me a little anxious. Like, all right, I gotta go faster because I don't want them to wait on me. So let me read as fast as I can.
I was kind of like that, but what helped was when he said, "Oh, just let me know when you're done." And then I think we were reading at almost the same pace because by the time I was done, we would look at each other and I go, "Okay," and then he turned the page.
Do you remember what scenes you were reading from the movie?
Yeah, when I think it was the baseball scene.
What?
I think it was the
All right, that
baseball
scene is
scene.
pretty good though.
Supermassive black hole.
What do you
Oh,
think?
set my soul alight. That scene is so cheesy.
It's pretty cool though. There's a lot of cool stuff in that scene.
There's a lot of cool stuff in a
There's a
lot of
lightning
scenes.
storm in the background.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
way that Alice pitches is super cool.
Yeah, Alice is giving who pitched in High School
Don't
Musical
ask me.
2?
Oh, okay. I'm like, don't ask me about real baseball players.
No, I'm not gonna ask the
I
born
thought it
New
was Ryan.
Yorker
Ryan is
about
pitching to
baseball. Oh yeah,
Chad, right?
she was giving Ryan from High School Musical a run for his money.
By the way, I was thinking about High School Musical 2 in this movie because Bella does
Oh,
say, "I don't dance." And I was like, "I
dude,
know you can.
save! I had a. It wasn't even like in my mind when she said, "I don't dance." I immediately went, "I know you
I
can."
know you can."
Not a chance, no. Hey, bada,
I'll give
swing.
that scene credit though. I mean, that's probably like the coolest baseball scene I've ever seen in any movie.
I'm trying to think of all the feel good sports movies, baseball
Angels in the
that I've
outfield.
seen, but yeah, this one was handled pretty well.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite scene. My favorite scene is after Edward has been. I did see Angels in the Outfield. I don't remember it though. Um, to circle back around to is Twilight based on a fan fiction? It's not, but Stephanie Meyer did say she was heavily influenced by My Chemical Romance songs when writing this
Whoa.
book. The edge is there.
Yeah. She captured the edge.
Oh yeah. Any girl that likes Gerard Way definitely likes Edward Cullen.
Caroline, can I get this out the way real quick?
Yeah.
I had an observation that I think you're going to agree with.
Okay. Present your findings, sir.
The more I watched, the more it became clear to me that Edward is a Discord mod.
Can you give me some examples of
I'm
your
glad you asked.
theory?
I have a list for you.
Yes, please.
Ready?
I want this. Yes.
These are Edward's traits. I'll leave it up to you if you agree that it has
Okay.
similarities.
Okay. Hang on.
He's creepy. He's
Creepy.
socially awkward.
Socially awkward.
He's a stalker.
Stalker.
He's overly attached to one woman.
Overly attached
He
at one
avoids
woman.
sunlight. And he doesn't sleep.
Do you think he sends my dear texts?
Not too much detail.
Do you think he sends texts? Good morning and good night texts. Do you think, Tony?
I don't want to
Come
answer.
on, sir.
I'm not going to get into specifics. I just laid out my case and,
Uh-huh.
I'll let the jury decide.
I don't know if you know, it's hard to say. I mean, yes, you've hit all the notes there. By the way, everybody, I think what we're really referring to is a simp. Is Edward a simp?
No, I chose my words very carefully.
I know, but I'm
This
trying
can
to keep
also apply to Reddit mods.
some level of mystery. But now you got me thinking. It's really complicated with Edward because he has those moments where he backs off. Like we know the story of Twilight. I think everybody here, Twilight's been out for so long. If you don't know the full story, that's fine, but we know where they end up, kind of thing.
By full story, you mean like the end of the saga?
Yeah.
I didn't see the last movie, by the way.
I haven't seen any of them except Twilight, but
Oh,
I know the plot
oh,
because
you're speaking with a lot of confidence,
my
saying we all know where it is.
well, I mean, like I'm maybe I should say like the girls or I don't know, but I know where the story ends because I've had friends that just tell me the plot,
Okay,
and
so we'll let the
then
listeners know you've only seen Twilight and only Twilight,
I've seen only Twilight,
and
but
I've seen only up to Breaking Dawn Part One, and I
oh
stopped.
snap, you've seen a lot. That's right, I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah.
We got a Twilight marathon question mark.
I don't know. I don't know how many more of these I can do.
If they're as campy as this one, I'm in. I just don't want them to take themselves too seriously.
I think they always do.
I think you're right. But Edward is a little complicated because he has his moments where he'll back off for her good. I know he breaks up with her at some point in the story because he's like, "It's for your safety," and then she starts like getting with Jacob or whatever. But you know, a moderator wouldn't do that. Uh, yeah, they want to
Now you're
hold
getting
on
to the
tight.
specific.
They want to hold on tight.
Right.
It's about the possessiveness, and for him, he's all about her safety.
Sure. It helps when you're handsome. That's not a similarity I wrote down
I was
though.
gonna say, like, that there's like, have you seen the meme where it's like the difference between flirting and harassment?
Yeah.
That's what this
Or
is.
stalking and secret admirer or,
Exactly. That's
the
what this
parallels.
is. That's
Yeah.
what this is. If they are also attractive, or at least like Bella is making it clear that she's kind of into him.
Oh, she's
So,
definitely way into
so,
him.
like it's not like as if she's telling him stop, I don't want you, things like that. Like no, she's openly inviting him.
I need to make an observation about Bella as well.
Okay.
Bella is the perfect woman for an abusive relationship.
I think you're not the first to say that, and I think you're right too. She is.
I want to read out the quotes.
Do it.
Here we go.
Now you're doing. So you can play it
This
again.
is after the scene where Edward reveals himself to shine like diamonds in the sun.
Was it? This is the skin of a killer, Bella.
Yeah. She's like, "You're beautiful."
Uh-huh.
So this is what he's telling her, and then what she's responding with.
Okay.
I'm designed to kill. I don't care. I've killed people before. It doesn't matter. I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life. I trust you. Don't. How many red flags do you need, Bella?
She's colorblind. That's the thing.
Colorblind.
Yeah, like that's the joke. It's I know he's full of red flags, but it's okay. I'm colorblind. That's the joke.
The man is admitting to wanting to kill you.
I know he's full of red flags, but it's okay because red is my favorite color.
She's the kind of woman that would say he's really nice once you get to know him.
Yeah,
With a black eye.
honestly, like I feel like all of the Cullen boys are like that except Carlisle. Because
Like
even
how?
like Jasper and Emmett, they get Jasper straight up almost kills her at
Who,
some
Bella?
point. Yeah, I can't remember if it's in I don't know which movie, but I think at some point she like cuts her hand or whatever, and he
You can't
almost
remember which movie. This was all described to you.
yeah, but it was told to me like oh, and in New Moon this happens, and in Eclipse this happens. So
So
I
they're
don't.
all ready to kill her? They all want to kill her?
I think the Jasper because he's like what the recent convert.
Jasper, I thought was.
He's
Hold
the one
on.
that's with Alice.
Oh, yeah, he's a weird one that barely
Yeah,
talks.
the
Yeah, you're right.
weirdest
Jasper,
of the
yeah.
weird ones.
Yeah.
But at some point, she cuts her hand and he like leaps for her. And I can't remember. Emmett is the one with Rosalie.
Yeah.
Shayna was telling me something about him, but like all the guys except Carlisle are weird like that. They all give off moderator vibes.
Carlisle has the strongest will.
Carlisle, Tony, I know I'm a woman now and not a girl because I wasn't eyeing the Cullen boys like Edward or Jasper or Emmett or even
Here we go.
Jacob. I know I'm a woman because I was eyeing Carlisle and Charlie. Those
Wow.
are the real heartthrobs of this movie. Wow.
Charlie?
The dads.
The dad?
Yeah, both dads
The Top
got
Gun
it
alumni?
got it going on.
The dad?
They got it going on. Charlie is such a good dad.
He's a very good dad.
He's trying. It warms my heart. But
Let's talk about the
Carla.
scene where Bella just roasts him for no reason and then she leaves.
Oh, I know. What did she say? I'm trying to remember.
She said, like, she can't stay here. She doesn't want to be stuck
That
watching
that hurt so. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like watching baseball
baseball
on the flat screen or
and
going to
then eating a
China
steak and cobbler every night
every night.
at the
She's like,
restaurant.
"That's you, not me." And I was like, "No, Bella, stop."
I was like, steak and cobbler every night? This guy's treating you like a princess. Dang. You can call me Bella. I'll move in.
All right, slow down, Bella. You don't even like sports that much. You won't
Nah,
like
but I'll
baseball on the
sit through
flat
it.
screen.
I'll sit through it. If he's gonna feed me steak and cobbler every night, we're gonna go out to eat. That's all I want. That's the
That's
only gift I want. Go out to eat.
go out to eat.
Yeah.
Maybe not steak and cobbler every night, but like he orders her a spinach salad when they go. Like he's been.
Well, she wasn't gonna name everything she eats, but she was just
Well, yeah,
saying
yeah,
like, "Oh,
yeah,
this
but
boring life of yours, I don't want it." And then he's like,
yeah, but I'm
he's
saying like
just a simple guy."
he's so accommodating to her, and this whole time he's been just trying to make sure that she's safe, she's happy.
Yeah.
I feel like there could have been other ways to.
He lets her go to prom with the guy who was supposed to protect her, and then she comes home with a broken leg.
Yeah, that they got into a fight and everything. Like obviously it was for show, but like if I was to get into a fight like that with a guy, my dad would never let me talk to him again.
If you
Like
come home with a broken leg, yeah, being out with a guy, I'm pretty sure.
that's an instant no go.
Yeah, that should be an instant no go.
Yeah, but he's like, hey, Bella really likes this guy, and I don't want to lose her again.
And then everyone around town was saying like how happy he was, and he was talking about his daughter coming to town.
Yes.
The
Ah,
waitress, Billy Black. Everybody saying like,
Charlie.
this guy can't shut up about you. Like, oh,
Oh,
he's a good dad.
he's a really good dad. That does. I don't know why it reminds me of. I find it so funny, and I think like that's one of the funniest parts. How instantly desirable Bella is when she goes to school.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. I definitely wrote it down.
She is instantly like the most desirable, and no shade to Bella. What's her name? No, not Bella. Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart.
She is a beautiful girl. I think she's very pretty, but it's the attitude, it's the way Bella acts that makes me think, why?
I still got to
Why?
defend her on this one too.
Okay, okay. Present your case.
There's just some people who have that personality, just like, because you do see her get happy when she gets the truck. You see her nervous. You see her in pain and near the end. Like she has
Mhm.
emotions, but this is like how she reacts with her personality. She's like a very kind of laid back girl. She admits that she's like an introvert. She's like, oh, I'm a more suffer in silence kind of person.
Mhm.
And that's just how people act. You can't just like, spring up random emotions that are not attuned with how you normally are. I think she's perfectly fine in this movie. She's perfectly as socially awkward as every other actor in this movie.
Except Robert Pattinson.
He's the most socially awkward.
He is. Oh my gosh, I love him.
But yeah, I wanted to bring that up too because there's a phone call with the mom where she's like, "Oh, have you made any friends?" And she's like, "Yeah, they're all very welcoming." And it's like, "Yeah, Bella, you just have like a huge group of friends now on the very first day of
Yeah.
Forks High. Like you're sitting
Forks
with a whole bunch of cool people inviting you to La Push and things like that, and
Stop
everyone
saying
is
it like
cool.
that. La push.
La
I
Push.
I know. And I feel like in other books or stories that are like this, it's always the opposite. It's always like she's the outcast and he's the outcast, so kind of thing. But she's instantly has this huge group of friends. But it really just makes me wonder why, because like even when she goes prom dress shopping with the girls, she's not showing any interest. They can tell she doesn't want to be there. And I feel like she's like that every time I see her with her friends. Every time I see her hanging around them, she doesn't want to be there.
I think I can make an excuse for this, but I think the real reason is just like, she's the main character. This is her loner personality, but the story needs friends to like bounce off of.
Mm-hmm.
But in the context of like me trying to make a reason for it, I think it's because this is such a small, lame town. Is Forks, Washington a real place? Because I don't want to.
Let's find out.
I'll take that comment back if it's a real place.
Yes, it is a real place.
All right, this quite delightful small town where
Uh-huh.
Bella goes to. There's not much going on. So like when they hear about a new girl being transferred over to the school, they're like, "Oh, Isabella." I don't even know her last name, but
Is it
oh, I guess Isabella's coming, and then
isn't it
that's
Bella, isn't it Swan?
oh, that sounds right.
Bella Swan.
Okay, yeah. So Bella Swan, and then that's why like the news, the school news guy is like, "Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Forks High." And then all these people are like, "Oh, you're Isabella." No, just call me Bella. Mike at the volleyball game, he's like, "You're Isabella," and like everybody knows her because it's such a small, nice town that people want to live in.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I'm overdoing it. It's not that
Okay.
great.
I appreciate how much you're defending Bella. I appreciate that from you. Okay.
I was ready to defend this whole movie, but I'm not going to. Just Bella.
Just Bella.
Just Bella.
She has the same effect on the guys in this movie that she does on you. This makes a
It
lot of
works.
sense. It
I
makes
can
a lot of
smell.
sense. Okay,
I'm
slow down.
repulsed.
Slow down.
I'm throwing up.
My favorite scene is after everything, after all the worrying and like wanting to confront him and he misses school and she saw him be like, I need to change classes and everything. She has this whole plan and then she's sitting in class and he's there and he's like, hi. And I don't know why that made me laugh so hard when he's just like, hi. I was like, Edward, get out of here. And she's like looking at him and then, hi. And I'm like, you lost all your nerve, girl.
It's just so.
It's so
I would
funny
say
to
like
me.
90% of this movie is like unnatural, awkward conversations that I just couldn't believe the entire time.
It's funny you say that because I wrote in my notes here, and I quote, 95% of this movie
We were
is
close.
awkwardly funny and awkward dialogue.
The scene you called out, he's like, "Hi,
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself the
Myself.
other day. My name is Edward Cullen. Hi." It's
Hi.
just like that's how they talk the entire time. Like even her friends, everybody's just so weird. I'm like, I can't believe this.
This dialogue is peak fan fiction. If you were to read fanfics, which Tony never,
I've
but
heard of one.
this dialogue is fan fiction writing. There's a reason why if you were to ever take like a writing class, they tell you read your stuff out loud because when you don't, it sounds like this.
This is this is them reading it out loud for the first time as they're recording
Exactly.
this
This is
movie.
the first time, what's her name?
This is the
Stephanie
first
Meyer
take.
has ever had her work read out loud. I wonder if when she saw this movie, she was like,
She's
"Oh
like, oh,
no,
what have I done?
yeah, what
I
have
made
I?
5 of these. Or I
I
made 4
ne-
of these.
I never had a beta reader. Oh no."
And then I didn't know if it was because of the book or because of the screenwriting. Is this more of a movie thing? Because they could have been directed better. They could have said like, "Hey, try to sound more natural,
they
like sound
could
like a
have
real
they
person."
could have had a Harrison Ford on set who was like, "You really want me to say this out loud?"
Yeah. I want you to read this.
I want you to read this and make it sound natural, huh? Huh?
That would have been the whole script, though.
Robert, please, you got to work with us. You got to say this line.
There's some lines that I wrote down because I was just like, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, read them, read them.
This is when they went to the greenhouse or whatever it was on a field trip.
Yeah, that's the what's in Jacksonville,
Yeah, yeah. And then the Floridians or whatever. And then they
Floridians.
step out of the greenhouse, and then Edward goes up to Bella and he's like, Bella, we shouldn't be friends. And I thought, you guys were friends?
Yeah, I was like, wait, when did y'all become friends?
This is like the first day you're saying more than 2 sentences to
I
each
think
other.
this is his way to block any way of getting into the friend zone. But go on.
That's a good strat. Actually, I gotta write that down. We shouldn't be friends.
We
Let's
shouldn't be
end this.
friends. We should be more.
All right, and then there's someone in the cafeteria, probably like the next day or something, where she's grabbing lunch, and then he goes up to her and he says, "If you were smart, you'd stay away from me."
Oh
And I
yeah.
thought, you walked up to her. You're going up to her the whole
Yeah,
time.
you're the one following her. He wants to see her in her bedroom tonight.
And he does. And then another line I thought,
Also, like the answer to that statement that if you were smart, you'd stay away from me, and she's like, like what was it? Let's pretend I'm not.
let's pretend, yeah, or
Ah,
yeah, you're right.
let's pretend I'm not. And I was like, Bella, right now you're not.
Bella,
Right
come
now
on.
you're not. Right now,
I'm
Bella.
having a hard time defending you here, Bella. This is the last one I'll bring up because I could literally like quote the whole movie as like why it's so baffling. But this is when they were at the La Push beach
Uh-huh.
and Jacob and his gang of wolves are there.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how Bella invited Edward and he didn't show up. And one of the guys, I don't know if it's Jacob, I don't know who said it, but they go, the Cullens don't come here. And then she's like, oh, she gets a face of like, I wonder what that means. And then it cuts to a scene where it's just Bella and Jacob walking on the beach. And she goes, so why don't the Cullens come here? And then Jacob's like, oh, you heard that, huh? I'm like, are you serious? They just said it and everybody paused to
He
take
said
it
it in a group. Said
Yeah,
it, and
he said it right in front of her.
nobody was talking. It was a
Nobody
statement.
interrupted him.
Yeah. Oh, you heard that, huh? It's like, movie.
Come on. I wish I was on set. I could have made this movie a 7.
Said every
Right now it's a 2. I could have put it at a 7.
If I was there on set, I would have made this movie.
Yeah,
So
me
much
like
better.
a freshman or whatever I was, I would have cut. Guys, this sounds awkward.
Guys, what's this delivery? No, we're changing this line. I want you to say this out
I
loud.
speak better than this and I have no real world experience. Guys, let's get it together.
I speak better than this and I have social anxiety. Come on.
All my friends are on Xbox. Come on, guys. I know how to talk better than this.
Come on. Have you ever been in a Call of Duty lobby? I think not.
So here we go. That's all the experience I got. Oh, and I did want to call out, you said it in the intro, but you speak like you're from a different time.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
What line does he say?
I wrote this down so I could make my comparison for the intro, and I was like, wait, what do you mean he speaks like he's from a different time? No, he doesn't. And then I thought, maybe in the book he says things that are old timey.
Yeah, maybe he speaks like, doth mother know you weareth her girt?
Doth
But
mother
no, he
know
just
you weareth her girt? Bella, might I take a moment of thine time?
Yeah, that's how it would have been so cool if he spoke like that.
That would have been actually sexy to hear a guy talk like that.
Hey,
but...
calm down, all right?
What?
You gotta keep your eyes on one man. Is it Carlisle or is it Charlie? Which one?
If I had to pick, it'd be Carlisle.
I know it would be.
But Charlie's a close second.
Because he's a good father. Like, you date Carlisle, but you marry Charlie.
You get it. You get it. Yes. If this was date, marry, kill, oh yeah.
Who would you kill?
I would date Carlisle, marry Charlie, and kill what's his name? James.
James?
The guy who's hunting her.
Oh, I never learned his name.
I think it's James. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
the first time he showed up, he was like shirtless, attacking whatever his name was.
The guy on the boat, right?
The guy on the boat, yeah. I thought this looks like the guy from No Vacancy. School of Rock band.
Oh yeah.
He's wearing like the torso-less shirt.
the sleeves, just sleeves.
Yeah, just sleeves.
You're onto something there.
It's not the same guy, I know for sure. But I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
he belongs in a rock band the way he's dressed.
That whole trio does, really.
Yeah.
The Cullens belong in an MCR tribute band.
I want to call out another little detail that I couldn't wrap my head around.
Call it out.
All the graduation caps. How?
And why?
Well, he said why, but how?
Well, I mean, not. I get the why, but if you're trying to be discreet, like this would mean that they never invite anybody over their house. Nobody's gone to their house and seen all that. No normal person. Never hosted like friends from
No.
work or
Yeah,
anything.
they've never invited normal people over, apparently. But the way I'm thinking about it is how the joke is that they've graduated plenty of times because, they were all 17 for hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm.
But
How long
how
have
are
you
they not
been
going to get
17?
recognized by the teachers or the faculty at school that this guy's graduating again?
He said they move different times.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's got to be different schools, right? But with the amount of caps they have there, wouldn't they run out of schools already? He said he had the Spanish flu or whatever. It was like 1918.
Yeah. I 1918 to like what year? 2000, I don't know. 6.
And the Carlisle is older than them. I don't know if he did any graduation caps because he's an adult.
And then you're only in school for 4 years. High school for 4 years. Mm. Tony, there's a lot of high schools in the US.
There's a lot of high schools. Is there enough?
I think there is. And then there's how many? 5 of them?
But how many states are gloomy and dark for them?
I don't know.
How many of those schools can they actually have a good attendance for and pass with by not skipping out on sunny days?
I think it's possible. I think with all the high schools in the US and for that many years, and then there's 5 of them. So I think it's possible.
I think it's possible with all the high schools we have in the US, but not with all the different weather each state has.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not going anywhere in the South.
Nowhere. Yeah. We're safe. We're safe.
Are you sure you're not going to have your Dr. Collins?
It's okay.
All right, that's very mature. All right, so Charlie it is then.
Like I said, you date Carlisle, but you marry Charlie.
Okay, so you got to move up for a season to meet him there and then break it
Hmm.
to him gently that you found the better man.
I did. Yeah. Charlie is. He's a man you marry.
He's
Very
single.
homely. Very sweet. Yes, he is. Very single.
He's very single. He's looking for his fellow baseball fan.
I've been to one Texas Rangers game. I'm good. I'm ready.
You ready to be a fan?
I'm ready to be a baseball fan. I'm ready to be a fake baseball fan.
A bandwagon fan.
Yeah, yeah. I do have Texas Ranger like shirts and a hat from when I went.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. There we go.
And go with a good appetite. Get ready to be in diners a lot.
I can have steak and cobbler every night. You know what? But now that you mentioned it,
At the
that does
beginning of this
sound
episode,
good.
you said that was a bad idea.
Tony, it's all about growth. We as people, we change.
You
And
changed in like 20 minutes.
sometimes change happens
Sometimes you
faster
need
than
a
you
different perspective.
expect. Yeah,
Grab your
you know
phone.
what, Tom? Different
Look at your
perspective.
phone real quick. Open up a
Look at
picture of Charlie.
no,
Now I want
stand
you to
back.
take 15 steps.
No, 15 steps back. All right, now
Now look at your
stand.
phone again.
Now look at it upside down.
How does Charlie look?
Stand on your head. Different perspectives. And Charlie still looks good.
All right. Then he's a man for you.
Yes, he is. Also, it's so funny that they think it's an animal that killed that guy at first, and then, like, we found a human footprint.
I thought it was going to be the wolves.
The wolves. Oh, you're right. I hadn't even considered that.
But they don't. Yeah, they're not part of the story at all for this movie.
Yeah. The
And I guess
wolf
the book.
part comes out later, I guess.
I assume the
When?
next one is called New Moon. That would be the time to reveal yourself as a wolf.
Hey, bear. Hey, wolf.
Hey, wolf.
Hey, wolf.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I don't think anybody would be Team Jacob in this movie, right?
It's hard to be Team Jacob, just in general, and then harder in this
He
movie.
needs a haircut ASAP.
He needs a haircut. He needs to work out a little more. He needs to have
He
better
needs to work out a little
clothing. He
more.
needs to have better clothing. He needs to, you know. They were teasing him in this movie. They were like, "Hey, we're
He
parading him in front of
exists.
you." Yeah, he
He
exists.
exists.
Jacob, what's his last name?
I don't know. Wolf?
Jacob. It's something funny. I think it's like
Moon?
Jacob Black. That's what his name is.
Oh
Jacob
yeah,
Black.
yeah. Billy Black. Billy
Jacob
Black, Jacob
Black.
Black. Wait, was that his dad?
I think so.
Oh
Or
yeah, it
was
is
it
his dad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Bill?
is.
Yeah, okay. I'm on his Wikipedia page. Yeah,
Yeah,
Billy Black is his father.
That's another okay. I again I said I could quote the whole movie, but this one really needs to be called out. The end of the movie, before they go into prom, the scene we saw,
Yeah.
and then how is that a normal conversation where Jacob brings up, "My dad paid me to come tell you
Tell
this."
you, he really wants you to break up with your boyfriend.
And they're like, "Huh?" And then he says, quote, "We're watching you." My dad my dad
My dad
says,
says
"We are
we're
watching you." A
watching you.
17-year-old girl?
Wouldn't it make more sense for him to tell Edward this?
Yeah.
To be like, hey, you and I know what we are, and you know that you shouldn't be dating a human, so break up with Bella and we're watching you.
Yeah.
But instead, he goes and tells Bella this.
And his dad pays him 20
Yeah.
bucks to tell him. I thought he was gonna ask her out.
If my dad paid me 20 bucks to tell you to break up with your significant other, I would never. That's such a
You wanna take the 20 bucks?
I would take the 20 bucks and then say, "Yeah, I told them," and then never
Wow,
tell
you
you.
would lie to your dad?
Dad, I hope you never hear this episode. Also, I'm joking. I would
I
never
told
do
him, he
that.
just said, "Nah, he's not going to." So
He just said, "No, I don't think I will."
ba 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. I'm saluting.
Yeah, I
Ba.
know you are. I know
Alright.
you're probably standing up, saluting, different perspectives.
I'm waving my American flag I have in my background.
Uh,
I turned the fan on so I could wave.
you have a little American flag, like
Yeah,
wee.
on the ready to wave.
Ba, 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 ba,
Yeah,
ba.
that's just so weird.
That
But this whole movie's weird.
that whole roundabout way of saying it too. The whole thing. I really feel like nobody saw this script and said, "This doesn't look natural." Everybody greenlit this. And they never. I was gonna say you learn from your failures, but they never have any reason to learn. They have no reason to change because this movie did well.
It did.
It did really well.
I think this was a movie that started the trends of the two-parters, right? Like it
Oh,
was doing so well. They're like,
I
"Wow, we only
think,
have one book left. Let's
and
make it
so
two
much happens
movies."
in this book. We have to make it two movies.
Yeah.
I think you're
And that's why we have
right.
Harry Potter. That's why we have
Wow.
all of the Hobbit. That's why we
Avengers.
almost had Avengers. It was gonna be Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I think by that
Wow.
time they saw that it was trending downward, like to call it Part 1
Yeah.
and 2, it wasn't cool anymore. I think that's when it was
We have Dune though, right? Isn't Dune going to be part 2?
well, it's okay to call a movie like Part 2, Part 3, or Chapter 2, Chapter 3, but it's not cool to call the same movie Part 1 and Part 2, with the same title. So like I was gonna say Hunger Games. I think by the time Hunger Games did it, it was like, not as cool anymore.
Mockingjay, right? That was the last one.
I'm
Was
not sure.
that a part 1 and a part 2? I'm trying
The
to
last
remember.
one does split into Part 1, Part 2.
Mockingjay. Mockingbird. Wait. Mockingjay. Yeah. Mockingjay part 1 and 2.
That's the
You're
last
right.
one?
That's the last one.
Oh, okay.
That's the only ones I haven't seen. I saw Catching Fire, but I did not see Mockingjay.
I haven't seen any.
I would watch it, but thinking back on it, Katniss Everdeen gets on my nerves.
Hmm. I would watch it.
But I mean, maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Who knows?
Maybe someday. Josh Hutcherson is the
The dude.
sweetest. He's the sweetest.
He's the
But
dude.
he's the sweetest, like, what's the word? Romance, love interest I've seen in a long time.
Really?
I haven't seen a sweeter love interest than PETA.
Really?
Yeah. He's really
I
sweet.
guess it is a pretty low bar with all these romance movies.
It's different when like a lot of these romance stories, these rom I don't want to this isn't a rom-com, that's why I
Oh,
hesitated,
it's a
but
rom-com.
it's
Yes, it
funny.
is.
But a lot of these romance stories, you have the Edward Cullens and they're the kind of bad boy-y, I'm dangerous, I've killed people kind of thing.
Bad boy, needs no social skills, doesn't need any interesting qualities,
And it's
just
different in Hunger Games because in Hunger Games, PETA is very much the sweetie. He's not like the r/nice guys, but he is a nice guy and he's a
he's a
gentleman.
kind man.
He's if anything, Katniss kind of uses that a little too much because she knows he likes her, and so she has like
Oh,
her own plans, and so she kind of leans on that a bit much. And it is a love triangle because what Liam Hemsworth is in it,
I
and
forgot who it is.
he's kind of the Edward. He's the like bad boy, but he's like the guy next door. He's like her childhood friend. But
Okay.
PETA is really good. I would watch it just for PETA, but Katniss can get on my nerves a little bit.
Alright, enough
We're
about PETA.
we're not talking about Hunger Games. We're talking about
No.
Twilight.
We're talking about Twilight, Caroline.
I you know I thought it when I was watching it in the beginning, and I'm glad that they kind of allude to it in the movie. But it kind of sucks to be stuck as a teenager, to be doomed to repeat high school a lot.
Yeah, he could just age one more year.
I was even thinking he doesn't look 17.
No, he
You could
doesn't.
just say you're 20 or 19
Or
and
18
yeah, and
and
never
not
have to
be
go
in
to high
school.
school. That's it. That's
Even
all
if
you
he
got to
is
do.
17, he doesn't have to go to high school. What's making him go to high school?
I think you do have to when you're 17. You don't you oh, at least here you can't
Well, I'm
drop
saying
out
he's
till
a
you're 18.
vampire that could run extremely fast, hide anywhere he wants, live however he wants, eat deers.
But his dad is a doctor who has to maintain some sense of I don't
Why would
know.
he show himself to the public? Oh, that reminds me. So the famous scene where Edward stops the car for Bella,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was his Clark Kent scene.
Yeah. I at first I didn't get what you mean, but yeah, I get it now.
You get it?
That is his Clark Kent scene.
But except here, it didn't have any consequence, really.
I mean, it awakened her to realizing he's not human. He's something else.
That's not a consequence. He found a ride or die.
he found a he found a girl to manipulate into his relationship.
Yeah.
If you were smart, you'd stay away from me. Let's pretend I'm not.
But there was a lot of, like, all right, let's compare it. Because in Man of Steel, Clark Kent could have saved his dad so easily.
That's the dumbest Man of Steel. That's the dumbest Pa Kent death I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Stop."
It could have been so easy. Nobody would have known.
I've even seen some people, like in Rewrite Corner, say that Pa Kent could have just died from a heart attack, and that would have been even more heartbreaking because that's the one thing you can't save your parent from, or like that he can't save him from. But it's the fact that it was so savable and so preventable, and there would have been no consequences if he did save his dad in Man of Steel.
I would have accepted that death because I like the idea of like his dad looking out, keeping him safe from the world, keeping him a secret for as long as he could. I like that idea. But it just looks so easy to save him. They could have made it, more dangerous. But anyway, the
Something.
whole point was so that he wasn't revealed to the world yet. Same thing, same situation for Edward. That he had that discussion with Carlisle and the other girl. I think it was Rosalie, or was it his mom? I don't know.
I can't remember.
It was probably Rosalie. But there was way more students around here, and they saw him. Like he was standing with a group of people, and then he dashes over, and he's quickly. Oh yeah, and then he gaslights her after that. That was
I was
pretty
gonna
cool.
say, I love how he gaslights her, where she's like, "How'd you get me so fast? What do you mean?
This is like professional
You
gaslighting.
you were nowhere near me. I was standing right next to you, Bella."
Bella, I was right next to you the
I
whole
was like,
time.
"Yeah, Edward, gaslight her,
Yeah, women
gaslight,
love it.
gatekeep. Let's go." Show that toxic trait. Christian Grey is based on you.
That's
Let's
another
go.
awkward scene that I did not like.
That's such an awkward
Like, she never
scene.
turned around the corner. She stood right behind the corner, staring at
Yeah.
them.
Oh my gosh. I was Tone, you know I cringe so easily. And I had to physically look away with that. When I saw her just kind of like,
And then she talks from there. She says,
yeah,
"I need to
can I
talk
talk?
to you."
I
From
need to
behind the
talk to you.
corner, she doesn't step
Yeah,
up.
from hiding behind the corner, not so hiding behind the corner. I need to talk to you.
And then Edward walks over, and then she stays behind the corner. And he's like, "Yeah,
Yes.
what's up?" And then they
Oh
talk
my gosh.
with the corner in between them.
I don't know if they were directed to be like that or if that's just how they naturally performed the scene. Either way, they wanted it to be so awkward.
That's another one. You see, if I was on set, I could have corrected.
Be like, Bella,
I'm like, "Bella, take one more step out." Like,
Kristen, please take one more step
yeah,
out.
call her Bella because we're staying in character here. Bella, take one more step out, please.
Bella, this is not how you get them. You're like coaching the characters.
I'm gonna need you guys to do this as
Edward, do
socially
not
awkward as
call
possible.
the girl you like a spider monkey. What is that?
You didn't like that pet name?
Is that a real question? No.
No,
Yeah, it's just
but I want a real answer.
no. One of the other siblings was it
Even
Rosalie?
Rosalie calls, yeah, Rosalie
Yeah,
calls Emmett a monkey. Like, oh, that's my
yeah.
little monkey.
This is not. These are not real people. I realize that, but oh my god,
These are not real people. These are not real conversations.
these are
These
not
are
real.
not
Yeah,
real
and nothing here is
relationships.
real.
There's no real romance here. Like,
Everything is the suspended reality of fan fiction. That's all this
this
is.
movie is a strange dream that you need to forget.
It is. It has a fever dream aspect to it. Even the music, all the songs in this
Oh, the
soundtrack,
strangest choices of songs, yeah.
dude, the songs in this soundtrack are famous for being. You know how like there's a term called Shrek rock, where like All Star just became the Shrek song,
Yeah.
and then you start hearing music that kind of sounds like, or like if you've ever heard a song that kind of sounds like All Star, you think, oh, that's Shrek rock. Or any song that's used in Shrek, it's like that's a Shrek song now. That's what the songs in this movie became. These are Twilight songs.
Twilight Rock.
Twilight rock. There's like even a Paramore song in here, and I was hearing it in the background when they were trying on dresses, and I was like, "Oh, that's right. That's the Paramore Twilight song." The dance, the prom dance scene, and
Uh-huh.
even the supermassive black hole. That's a really big one. Like that's a huge Twilight song. Is the supermassive black hole?
So now it's Twilight Rock.
This is Twilight rock. This is Twilight emo music.
No wonder it was so popular. 2008 was the year for emos.
Yeah, yeah, it was. It was.
That was the era. They caught it perfectly.
Oh, I forgot Linkin Park is in this one. Leave out all the rest. Oh my gosh, these are such Twilight songs. Yeah, Decode by Paramore. Oh my gosh. This is throwing me
Hot
back big
Topic.
time. Hot
Come
topic.
on.
Dude, even just like hanging out with my friends in this year, it was filled with Twilight. And I felt like I get
In
what
this
you
year?
mean. Well, I'm sorry, not like I meant that year.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that year that came out, like this year, like the 2008, like this
Yeah, yeah.
year, that was such a Twilight filled year. I completely relate to how you mean when you said that like you went to a high school where everybody watched anime but you didn't, even though like but you were still like accepted and stuff. That's how it was for me. Youth group 2008. Every girl was a Twilight fan, but I never watched it. I never read the books. I was just kind of like, "Oh, okay." And my friends told me everything about it.
Did it become a civil war at your church when New Moon came out and they had to choose Team Jacob or Team
Yes.
Edward?
Yes, it did.
Which
Yes, it
team were you
did.
on?
I didn't have a team. Obviously, I'm team Charlie. No.
One member has joined Team Charlie.
I'm
Total
sure
now is one
there
member.
are team Charlie people out there. There's got to be.
Um,
Yeah, there
I
are.
doubt it.
There's team Charlie people out there. Don't
Uh,
underestimate the power of the DILF, dude. Don't underestimate it. But
what do you have to bring there?
at at church there was definitely a divide of team Jacob and team Edward. My friends were team Edward. So I went along with
By
them and I
proxy,
said
you were Team
Edward.
Edward as
By
well.
proxy, I was Edward. But I do remember being a teenager, and this was not in the movie, just Robert Pattinson versus Taylor Lautner, and I always thought Taylor Lautner was cuter.
Because he worked out more.
Yes.
And he cut his hair.
When he
Well,
had
it was a
short
wig in
hair,
this
oh
movie,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's such a wig. I don't know. I wish I took a screenshot, but we were already watching it at that point. The last scene when he's telling her to break up with Edward, the hairline is even not sitting on his forehead. Where is it?
You saw like a shadow, a hairline shadow or something?
Oh, I hope I can find it. I did see like a shadow. He gets a better wig in the next movie. I need the first movie. Come on.
He doesn't shave it yet by the next movie?
No, he doesn't. I think he cuts his hair in the middle of the movie. I just don't know which one. Look at that like dark notch on the
I
hairline.
see a
And
dark
the
notch.
yeah, that to me means the wig isn't fully sat on the hairline.
It's not a good look.
It's not. It's not. I think the argument can be made later on. Like I'll admit it. You could disagree with me, and I think you will. This wig right here, I don't know which movie this is from. This is a better look. This is a better wig than the one he has in the first one.
No.
I know. It's a better wig
The
than the
bar is set
first
so low
one.
by the first one. You're like, you know what? This one is actually kind of good, I guess.
It's better than the first one. The first wig is so bad.
Nah. They're both pretty bad, Carolyn.
I think the second one
He's
is
wearing a
better.
wolf shirt.
He is wearing a wolf shirt.
By the way, looking at this picture, because you sent me a picture of first movie Jacob, and then I don't know what movie this is Jacob, but
I'm assuming second, but yeah, I
he's
don't know.
standing next to Bella, and I want to call out that Bella already looks like a vampire. Her skin is so pale.
She does, doesn't she?
Standing next to Edward, and she's just as pale.
Yeah. What's the your skin is pale and you're ice cold.
Yeah,
Your skin is pale white and ice cold. I was like, Bella, you're describing yourself.
your ice cold. Your personality is ice cold
Yeah, you speak like you're from
from
like
another time.
you speak like you've never had a conversation before.
You all speak like all your interactions have been through text.
You speak like you've only ever had internet friends. Oh no, you know what I heard when I was I can't remember who said it. It might have been Josh, but years ago. He said Bella talks like as if she's been homeschooled and this is
Oh.
her first time interacting. And I was like, "Oh!"
Caroline, it makes sense. Think about it.
Shut up! No! I know where you're going with this.
Think about it.
I've been trained. I'm out of that. I've adapted. No. No.
Caroline,
No, no, no,
think
no.
about it.
Shut up.
How do you speak? How does Bella speak?
I don't speak like her. I just do the little every now and then. It's like putting the brakes on a sentence.
You're going too fast. You got to hit the brakes.
Exactly. When the brain hasn't caught up with the mouth just yet.
When the mouth is cashing checks at the brain.
When the mouth is writing checks that the
That the
brain
brain
can't
can't
cash. Exactly.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I'm pretty sure that's a Josh, but if not, Josh, you can still take the credit for
Let's just
that.
give a shout out to Josh for that one.
Shout out to Josh.
I want to call out a quick little meme moment that you saw. I'm sure you saw.
Uh-huh.
You know the Umbrella Academy meme? The cars passing by each other?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They did that in this movie.
They
It's a very
did.
scene where Edward and Bella are publicly dating, and he's at the house, and he like fixes her truck because there's a dent in the truck, so he just pulls it out, and then he
Hmm.
pauses awkwardly. And he's like, "I gotta go," and
Yeah,
then
yeah. He
he
gets in
drives
his truck.
away. And then the wolf team drives past him, and then they just stare at each other, passing
Bad
by.
news just walked in.
Exactly like
The
the Umbrella
Umbrella
Academy.
Academy meme.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, Twilight did it first. Twilight did a lot of things first.
And now I
This
gotta bring
movie,
it up because I think we're both thinking it. You can't
Okay.
watch this movie now, post 2022, and not think the first introduction scene. You remember at the cafeteria where they're like, "Oh, who's that?" And there's like, "Oh, those are the Cullens." And then, she's introducing Rosalie, Emmett, blah blah blah. And then once it
They're like
gets,
together.
yeah, but then once it gets to the last one, where she's like, "Who's that?" Weren't we both thinking, "Oh, him? He's vengeance." I was looking for a YouTube mix. I was hoping somebody would put like, "Oh, that's Edward." Boom, boom,
Bum,
boom,
bum,
boom,
bum.
boom, boom, boom.
I need to make a note of that.
Walking through the cafeteria.
I'll do that for the highlight. I'll make a note of that. If you can't make it, do it yourself. If you
Come
don't
on, you
see
got
it,
to
do
think
it
about that
yourself.
now, right? I mean, we've all seen it.
Now that he's the Batman, he's pretty much Edward Cullen as Bruce Wayne.
Which, by the way, the Batman sequel is called Batman Part 2.
It is. Yeah, I'm so glad. I was just about to bring that up. I'm glad you did it.
But that's okay. When you call it Part 2, it's like, whoa,
Whoa.
fancy. Or if you call it Chapter 2, it's like, wow, fancy. But if you call it just 2, it's like, lame.
Episode
2000.
2.
Nah, don't call anything episodes. It's pretty lame.
Uh, let's move on.
Yeah, sure.
I disagree. Anyway, let's move on. This movie inspired a wave of movies.
Yes.
The success of this movie inspired, I
The
think,
young adult
every young
movie.
adult book to movie. Maze Runner, Divergent, Hunger
Yeah.
Games. Like, there's got to be more, but yeah, like so many. I think there's even like something like the Mortal Ashes or the more something like that. There's one of those, but that's like a young adult book to a movie. There were so many that came out in response to the success of this film.
And I think maybe, no, I don't have the numbers, but I feel like Hunger Games was bigger.
Oh, I don't. I want to disagree, but I'm gonna do the
Against
research
Twilight?
right here live because Twilight was such a staple in media. It was a real. It was so big.
Yeah,
It's
it was.
but I don't know if it was big. Like it became a cult classic or not a cult classic because that's like usually when a movie bombs. But like if it didn't do well in theaters, but it's just been such a widely talked about film. Hunger Games. Let's see here. Okay, the box office, it Twilight made 407 million in the box office.
Really?
And
Okay.
407.
That's the first movie.
Oh, wow, Tony, you're right.
What?
Hunger Games made 694 million.
Well, well, well. Seems like we're watching Hunger Games next.
Oh, no, no.
Let's see how
maybe
Katniss is. She's probably our
maybe
next
later.
pal.
Not for our season of love.
No. But you
but
said, but you were
I
like all
I did watch Hunger
googly
Games in
eyes about
theaters.
PETA.
I do love PETA, but the romance hurts me. It hurts me to see in a romance environment one person use the other. And that's kind of how it starts off at first. Katniss doesn't feel real feelings for PETA until like the second movie.
Okay.
Not to like spoil it for you, but because I do think eventually we'll see it. I do want to see it for the pod. But in terms of the romance, it's a slowish kind of burn.
All right. I've seen Divergent, like just the first two, I think.
Hmm.
And then I've seen Maze Runner, and I think I've seen just the first one.
I've never seen Divergent. I've had many friends that have seen it and they didn't like it. So that was my thing of like, all right, I don't have to go through another Twilight with them
Yeah.
because they didn't like Divergent. I saw Hunger Games and I think I saw the first two. I didn't see the last two.
Maze
The
Runner was cool though. You didn't see Maze Runner?
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw Maze Runner 1. I didn't see the second one.
It could have been a good one-off movie. Should have just ended.
I feel like that too, yeah. Because the first one, I remember I saw that in theaters with Ashley, and it was good. It was okay.
It was good.
It was good. I haven't seen the second one, but it could have been a one-off.
But then it was also too similar because Hunger Games, Divergent, and Maze Runner were all group of young kids standing up
Have to
against the government.
survive. Yeah, standing up against the patriarchy. Movies based on young adult books.
There should be franchises based because there's a lot of young adult movies.
That's true. I don't think I'll get results, but oh, I did. They're saying Harry Potter. I mean,
That
that's the
counts,
original.
but
The
that's like an
Chronicles of
actual good
Narnia.
one.
I have 53 young adult books that will be adapted. Number one is The Love Hypothesis. That's not.
No.
Let's keep going. Oh, Beastly. That's right, with Vanessa Hudgens. I forgot about that. That was a
Beastly.
one-off. It's a young adult modern take on Beauty and the Beast, starring Vanessa Hudgens.
I think I'll like that.
It it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've seen it.
Wait, it's out?
It's oh yeah. I'm reading now. I'm sorry, I should have cleared it up. Now I'm reading every young adult movie franchise since Harry Potter, and it's like Twilight, Aragon.
Oh, Aragon, I remember.
There's Beastly with Vanessa Hudgens. It came out in 2011. Beastly. Oh yeah, here it is. Mortal Instruments. That's what it's called. That was a big one.
Oh, yeah. A big flop, right?
Yeah, yeah. I am number
I
4.
remember
Oh,
that.
that's a big one.
I
Yeah,
didn't
the
see it. I
twi-
remember the trailer and being like, I don't want to watch it.
mm-hmm. The Golden Compass, the Percy Jackson series.
Oh, yeah.
That was a huge
Wait, what
one.
about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Is that books?
Chronicle, the Chronicles of Narnia. Yeah, I mean that's here. The
Okay.
Chronicles of Narnia. Jumper. Oh, that's with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
The
that was a good
Maze
movie.
Runner. The Ender's Game.
Never seen it.
Vampire Academy. Ender's Game, I know it has Harrison
I
Ford.
remember that.
I haven't seen it. Oh, and Stardust. That's with Charlie Cox. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
For some reason, I feel like it's not.
I remember there was a night you and I were on Netflix looking for a film, and we saw Stardust, and you said that looks terrible, and I was like, that's
so,
really
so even
good.
my gut feeling, just hearing
You
the,
saw it and went, that looks terrible, and I was like, oh
so just
no.
hearing the name and you explain, I'm like, I don't know why, but for some reason, I feel like it's not good.
I liked it, but you probably would not like it at all, and your gut already doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Warm Bodies, remember that one?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Inkheart was it Brendan Fraser?
Which one?
That's the Brendan Fraser. He's like a writer or something. Paul Bettany's in it too. I forgot about
No, but
that.
what, say the name again.
Inkheart.
Inkheart. Oh, okay.
That was a big one. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Series of Unfortunate Events.
Okay.
Coraline. The Hunger Games. Yeah, there's a lot of these that just came out of the woodwork after the Twilight saga hit it big.
Yeah, but it came and went
It
relatively quickly.
it really did. I think by the 2010s, that's when Marvel started hitting it off, and we started getting the superhero films.
Yeah, I mean, 2008, literally the beginning. Twilight
That
came
was the
out.
beginning.
Iron Man came out.
Yeah, we were getting the plethora of like you either watched a superhero movie or you watched a movie based on a book.
And we're still in the hero era.
Yes, we are.
It hasn't left. It's holding on tight. I got a few more things to mention about the
Okay.
movie.
I have a few more, but they're more open ended, so I want to hear your stuff.
I have an observation, maybe you caught as well.
Okay.
This is after the spider monkey scene. They climb up to the very top of the tree, and then Edward asks Bella, "Do you trust me?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
Aladdin."
Aladdin. I can show
And
you
then,
the
yeah,
world.
then he's like, "Close your eyes." I'm like, "Ah, that's not Aladdin." Aladdin says, "Don't you dare close
Dare
your
close your
eyes."
eyes.
And
It's
this fool
opposite.
says, "Close your eyes."
I mean,
Come on.
that's the difference between a healthy relationship and a non-healthy relationship. Is Aladdin and Jasmine versus Bella and Edward. Don't you dare close your eyes.
All right, and then I'll call out what I think is the sweetest, most romantic moment in this movie.
Oh,
And I
okay.
think it's simply when Edward and Bella are laying on the bed and they're talking to each other the whole night until Bella falls asleep.
Ah, okay.
You remember that
Yeah,
scene?
I do.
That's like the nicest thing they do the whole time.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you brought this up because my question was, Tony, this is a romance film, but what is romantic in this movie? You know,
That one
what's
scene.
picked up? So yeah, you answered my question before I even asked it. I was going to say, me watching it, it's almost like they're telling me and not really showing me why these people are together. I was trying to find like the moments where they would actually be. My thing whenever I watch supernatural romances is I always like to think, okay, take away what makes it supernatural, take away the powers or vampire and stuff like that. Would these two people still be together if they were just normal humans? Like that's always something that
No.
I like to explore when I'm in that headspace. I know you're jumping the shark, but yeah, yeah. That's what I always like try to imagine when I watch movies like this. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, that's not like the way I always do it. And I'll suspend the belief and still be like, okay, they're together for the sake of the story. They're together, and it's because he's a vampire that that is attracted to her blood and whatever. But yeah, other than him being a vampire and being like, I can't stay away from you. I need to protect you. They wouldn't be together. He wouldn't. There would be nothing else about the two of them that would bring them together. And
Well,
I
it's just their looks. That'll bring them together. That's pretty much what every
materialistic
No, really. I
aspect.
mean, that's what so many of these romance movies are. And usually what I call out first, I'm like, why do they like each other? They just like the way they look. I feel like if you remove all the vampire stuff, I think they would still fall for each other because Edward would still look like that, except he'll probably be a little bit more he'll have a tan, probably.
Yeah.
And but he'll still have his, flowing hair. He'll still be the same height. He'll still same have the same jawline or whatever. Bella is not enhanced in any way by vampire powers or anything. So when he walks into school, she'll probably give him the same look. She didn't know he was a vampire. He did say that he was designed to like lure her in,
Yeah.
and I forgot what he calls out, but it is all
It
just
is like
outward
his
appearance.
his eyes, his voice, the way even like his smell is all designed to call her in.
His eyes wouldn't be golden, shiny golden anymore.
Yeah.
But she was already falling for him before that.
Other than the scene you called out, which was the only one that I took notice as well, they don't really have anything where they're just kind of able to be together. They had that they ate together at some point, or she ate, he watched. Um, but I feel like a lot of times these romances and this is just a thing I think in every romance film. They don't give us a good except like and I think I called that out in 51st Dates. They actually showed us that their conversations are endearing and charming, and this is in 51st Dates. And that's when you see like, okay, I get why they're together. They have great chemistry, yada yada, but a lot of times in these romance focused movies, we don't see that. Like I don't look at Edward and Bella and think they have great chemistry.
I think they're pretty compatible with how they're both socially awkward. They both don't know how to speak like normal people. But I agree with you. That's mostly a joke. But I was thinking, I know there's got to be a movie out there, but I would love to watch a movie where the romance is about a married couple and how they keep their romance
Oh.
alive. And I want to see them be older. I want to see them like middle age or older. Because I read something the other day saying like, a lot of the majority of these romance movies, it ends when it really is supposed to begin. It
Right.
ends when the relationship begins. So like
Right.
the movies are only about the
Them getting
dating.
together.
Yeah, and it usually ends with like the first big kiss, or it ends with a wedding, or it ends with them, agreeing to be together. They realize, hey, we're the ones for each other. But it never is about like a married couple that's fighting to keep their romance alive, or like continuing to love each other or whatever. Is never about that. Unless there is a movie, but I don't know about it and I haven't seen one.
Yeah, I
But I'd
don't
love to see
either.
one.
I would
Yeah.
love if anybody's listening and does know a movie like that, please recommend
Send
it
it
to
our
us
way.
either at elbownudgepod@gmail.com or at elbownudge on Instagram.
We will extend the month of love one more week if we find this movie.
Exactly, yeah. One more week, the first
One
week
more
of
week.
March.
And it would
We'll
be a
see.
very long month because you can even throw in Howl's Moving Castle. We it
Oh
accidentally
yeah,
lined it up
it
to
did
be
kind of
part of
line
a
it up.
romance thing.
Part of our season of love.
So yeah, I'll say that that's a challenge to anyone listening. Find a movie showing a happy married couple.
Or at least a married couple trying to figure out how to stay married, try to stay in love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the challenge for anybody listening. And hey, we'll do our own research too on the side. I'll look it up. I want to know if there's a movie out there. But if you've seen one and you liked it with that premise, I want to know.
And I guess that's it. Do you have anything else or any final thoughts on Twilight?
I'm looking at my notes. I think that's it. I did write that my favorite thing about this movie is Robert Pattinson because I don't how it's public knowledge that he makes fun of his Twilight
Yeah,
past,
I've seen
right?
a compilation of all the interviews where he just does not care about Twilight.
I think it's so funny.
Yeah.
And I even find it kind of funny how committed he is. I don't want to say committed, but it's almost like he's going along with the joke. Anytime I see Edward in this movie, I had that in the back of my mind when I was watching it today, that it really feels like he's just going along with it. He's like, oh, well, I got to get a paycheck. And this movie kind of vamped his career.
For a while, yeah.
He was the Twilight guy. And that was even like
For
the
a long
joke.
time. Yeah, even when he got casted as the Batman, he was the Twilight guy.
Everybody was like, I saw a lot of DC fans that are like, oh, we're going to get the sparkly vampire playing our Batman. Like, that was a little bit of the pushback, but hopefully he won them over. He won me over, both of us, for the Batman. But
Both of
even
us.
in, yeah, you and I, he won us over, right?
I was always looking the moment he was announced, I'm like, yes, this is a great idea.
All right, yeah, yeah. I should have worded it like that, but like we were on board.
I
It
never
wasn't like
doubted
as if
Robert Pattinson. I never doubted Ben Affleck. I was like, perfect. I
I
cannot wait.
doubted Ben. I definitely doubted Ben Affleck, and I still do.
And you still do.
I still do. I doubt Ben Affleck. But when I heard Robert Pattinson was going to play Bruce Wayne, I remember being like, you know what? That actually works because if this is a young Batman, he looks like he could be a Bruce Wayne. And I did. I liked it. I liked him as Batman. But for a long time, he was the Twilight guy. And he still kind of is a little bit of that. A little bit of like, oh, he's the Twilight guy. But right now he's playing
It's
Batman.
fading. It's fading away. He's done a
It
lot of
is.
movies in the meantime since then, but yeah.
And this movie, didn't it kickstart him and Christian Stewart dating?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder when did she cheat on him?
I gotta defend her.
Oh,
First of
don't
all, no, I'm
defend
kidding.
her. That's where I'll stop. That's where I'll be like, Tony.
What?
Hey, wow! How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? She, let's see,
We don't have to get
2000,
to people's personal lives, Caroline.
2012, right when Breaking Dawn
Part
2
two,
came out, she was cheating on him with Rupert Sanders.
the director.
Ew. The director, not even of that movie. He was the director of Snow White and the Huntsman because she was
Oh
in
yeah,
that
because she was
one.
in that movie. Yeah.
She was in that movie.
All right, that's enough of that. We're not a gossip channel here.
Wow. Talk about fumbling the ball there, Christian. How dare you?
You could have been with the Batman.
You are dating
He's not in the
Robert
shadows.
Pattinson.
He is the
And then
shadows.
you cheat on him with Rupert Sanders? Oh my gosh.
We're done here.
I have to get right up in my ears for that, man. You trying to be an Edward? Say it.
Hi. I didn't introduce myself yesterday.
Everybody, thank you so much for
I
listening
was
to this
preoccupied.
episode. If you're hearing us
My
on your
name is
favorite
Edward Cullen.
podcasting platform, give us a like, or I'm sorry, hit the bell icon if you want to hear more. Give us a
What's your
follow.
name?
If you're a returning listener, give us an honest review. And if you're hearing us on YouTube, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon.
Goodbye, everybody. I hope you liked listening to this episode about Twilight. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh my God.